Networking, dialogue,
Consumers of tomorrow will shop through multiple channels of retail.
exhibition. All this and much more took place at the 4th edition of the Indian Retail and E-Retail Congress.
It's an omni-channel strategy. It's O to O, offline to online, online to offline, and everything in between.
The who's who of the retail world, international brands and the new kids on the block came together to analyze the fast-changing retail landscape of the Indian market.
What we are facing currently is what I call a short-term threat. But in the long term, I think there is a huge opportunity that exists in the marketplace. And when I say huge, I mean mammoth. It's an absolutely new channel that has opened up, which is e-retail, m-retail, and so on, which will probably change the whole way we think of retailing. But yes, we have to keep up with that change.
India has pulled and attracted a lot of interest, not only of the domestic retailers, but also from the international players. And different ways and means have evolved to reach to the consumer.
My belief is if you're going to be successful in India, you can be successful anywhere. India is a very, very tough market.
The two-day Congress had a power-packed lineup of sessions and an awards ceremony that felicitated achievers in the retail space.
Thank you for being with us here today to celebrate the excellence in this industry on behalf of Franchise India.
We talk about issues in the industry, which means what are the challenges we are facing, and then we talk about a lot of things which are capital and issues of entire thing where the growth is going to come from. So we always would like to package the opportunities in that manner. In times to come, I think this show would multiply. You will certainly see a 100% growth next year when people return for this show.
The event kicked off with a session that aimed to understand the new consumer-led market and buying behaviors.
If I have to use one word or one expression for the customer, I would never use a he, I would use a she. In most categories that matter, men are service providers. For 15 years plus, Indian families have seen consistent income increase. If we are honest to ourselves, as consumers, we do not actually know, we do not have any recent memory of what we grew up with, the notion of a rainy day. It's a very unique situation. If you live with this for a long period of time, it increases customer behavior almost every year.
When we look at 90s, I personally felt Indian customers were much shy as compared to their Western counterparts. But a tremendous change has happened. The customer is more empowered, more informed, thanks to the internet boom which has happened in the last 1 decade.
You remember how Damodar said that in the same catchment area in 6 years, the income has doubled. It's true for every catchment area. It's not Saket and Bandra that we are talking about. It's everywhere in the country. And that consumer does not have reach to a lot of products. And that's where I think e-tailing has an opportunity.
In 2013, for example, my business used to be completely dependent on, modern trade and mom and pop stores. And since licensing business is still slightly niche in India and nascent stages, I used to be available in about 25, 30 towns. Today, because what e-commerce has done to retail, I am now selling 32-inch figurines of Batman in cities like Gorakhpur, for example.
Another invigorating session delved into the minds of the new age shopper and the promise India's youth bulge held for brands.
there is no more mass markets, even if it's an offline or if it's an online, there are niche of segments. So within segments, there are micro segments. Within target groups, there are micro targets. So that has something which has changed or has evolved, recently, or, has been evolving every day.
There's more than 2 billion millennials globally. They are the most inclusive people. They're very group and friend oriented. It's important that the brand communicates directly to them, to what Abhishek was saying earlier. It's about me. You're talking to me, you're not talking to a group of people while I'm part of a group. And it's meaning over money. How are you going to talk to people like this? You can't talk to them in a, I will tell you how to shop on my website, or how I will tell you how to interact with my products in my store. They will do it the way they want to do it.
If you compare again the physical world and the virtual world, virtual shopping is all image based. And research shows that image based shopping is much more stressful.
With digital revolution taking over traditional retail, the next set of panelists discussed new business models and ideas for the changing scenario.
I think we at Future Group and at Big Bazaar definitely do believe that consumers of tomorrow will shop through multiple channels of retail. So I think there will be times when they will come to the physical store for certain products, certain categories, or for different needs. And there will be times when they'll go to the mobile, to the web, or any other new digital ecosystem or channel that emerges tomorrow. I think it's a natural progression. As a retailer, we are a products and goods company. And wherever consumers are, we'll have to service them through that channel.
We're getting accustomed to buying a lot of products online. But I think the next stage, and Alok, you were probably one of the forerunners to see service businesses going online.
One very basic thing that never existed in insurance sector in India was no one believed that customers would want to buy a insurance product on their own. There was always a belief that customers will need to be little bit pushed or nudged for a closure. Now that's a very, very fundamental thing that we are trying to change. So we are trying to move focus from how to distribute a product to maybe what exactly the customer need and how do we play a part in fulfilling that need.
I'll come to Raghu. Raghu is the founder of Taxi for sure. Where was the disruption you saw that, that could become a business model by itself?
We saw a lot of unused inventory on the roads, right? And there were customers who were waiting for taxis, and there were a lot of taxis on the road who were waiting for customers. Just because there was a call center which had become the bottleneck, they were not able to get in touch with each other. That's when we thought that if we can essentially get all these people onto the platform, right, all the cabs on the single platform, and provide an access for customers to reach out to all the cabs in a city through a single channel, then there is a high probability of finding a cab with us. That's how the idea of Taxi for Sure was born. I think technology played a significant role. I think that was the time when geolocation sensor started getting ingrained into become a common feature in almost all the smartphones. Because of which tracking a taxi became significantly easier and a lot more cheaper, and figuring out the location of the customer also became a lot more cheaper. If the geolocation sensor wouldn't have been part of the smartphone, I don't think so our business existed.
With omni-channel becoming the new buzzword, the next session had panelists trying to list ways brick and mortar could transform and join the bandwagon.
Typical today omni-channel is that, okay, get your products online, put offers online, and that's about it. But we completely disagree with that. Because as a consumer, when you walk into the store, the first thing you ask is, Naya kya hai, right? What are the new things in your store? And that information today doesn't exist. And that's what NowFirst wants to create. We want to really simplify the content creation for an SMB. So today on our platform, people update their site 3 times in a month.
These sellers that are coming online, that are going all across all the e-tailers, how verifiable are they? Because their reputation is impacting the big e-tailers as well.
Right from your online store to your CRM, to your loyalty, for B2B businesses to engage with your suppliers through an extranet. So all of these different facets allow a business to plug and play with their existing infrastructure. So you're not ripping and replacing what you have, but you are adding value on top to ensure that you are scaling your business and scaling your strategy to connect with consumers across different touch points.
On online, I'm buying actually. No one is selling it to me. So I think if that engagement towards selling starts from an online perspective that really engages the customer, gets into his emotional quotient as well, not just analytics and data, but beyond that, I would love if that starts happening.
Retailing is becoming organized. It is a large unorganized market is becoming organized, and the organized is getting specialized, and the specialized is getting personalized. Whichever phase of the growth, evolution, the category is, there is a market available for that.
Innovations in marketing, innovations in payment gateways, innovations on logistics side, right? And that's what e-tailing is all about, right? So a lot of money is coming into it, right? People are driving innovative stuff, building innovative technologies, and that's what is helping us, a business like us.
In the buying behavior, I think if you have to have apps that are going to be mobile friendly, because people are going to access internet through mobile, given the infrastructure of our company. And if you are mobile friendly as a platform, if you are mobile friendly as a brand, as your website, etc., I think you'll drive more business.
Retail in India in the last decade or so has been the fastest evolving market. I think there is a huge growing consumerism in India because of us being one of the youngest nations in the world. And obviously there is an infiltration of a lot of foreign brands into our country because it is the largest independent consumer market in the world.
On the other side of the break, catch all the action from Indian Retail Awards 2015.
So Mr. Kapil, like a huge franchise, like franchise India is such a huge conclave has happened. So many people coming for such a thought process, they're coming and sharing their inputs. Firstly, what do you have to say about such a conclave?
I think it's a very important conclave where the best of the brains and people who are actually into this business are coming together. They're understanding each other's views, and more importantly, they're also discussing disruptive technologies.
5 minutes baad aaye, please. 5 minutes later, please. We need to start this again, please. Yeah, please.
Yeah.
Yeah, again. What do you have to say about the whole conclave?
So the best thing is that the best of brains of the country have come together on this platform of Franchise India, and all of us are now discussing ways on how to take e-commerce or e-tail to the next level. So I think this is the perfect platform. Everyone is sitting together, thinking about disruptive ideas, thinking about the next revolution and how to take things to a more sustainable and scalable level.
The one thing what India is going towards is the digital world,
Yeah.
the digital platform that India is ready. Do you think India is ready to capture that market? We have seen, it has been a mobile economy, but when it comes to retail, do you think that we are ready, people are ready to buy and exchange, that process is, it's full in function?
A very interesting question. I remember going to a college recently where, all the students were actually on their phone doing WhatsApp. So there were 10 students who were just walking and all of their faces were down. And I took that picture and I put that on Facebook and on my LinkedIn that see how much engaged is the youth today on this mobile device. The other important thing is that today everyone is empowered. The customer is educated. And this digital medium is going to try, it's going to go beyond boundaries and states and cities. And this is going to be the real next wave. I think this is where people are going to get hooked onto technology, hooked onto this mobile device, and really change the way they shop.
Right. And what do you have to say, how have you played such a vital role in shaping the digital market of India?
So, I think what we've also realized and understood is that everything is changing so fast in this country because India, the type of empowerment and the bulge of the wallet that the youth has, or any youngster has, or every person has in the country today, they're aspirational. What we've tried to do with the e-tailers and the e-commerce companies, they want to know more about the shopper. Why does he buy? And how does he buy? And what does he buy? Every state in itself is a country. So what we do is that we go to the consumer to understand his buying behavior. Secondly, our mystery shopping solution has really turned out to be wonders for all these e-commerce companies because when they're doing millions of transactions, they really don't know what's going wrong, where is it going wrong, and why is it going wrong. So we come up where we become a shopper, we become an e-tail customer, and we